Hi everybody, and today on songs that I love and really helped shape my playing, I want to talk about what is maybe my favorite song of all time, Untitled by D'Angelo, otherwise known as How Does It Feel? And I just want to talk about some theory things, some really cool things that are going on here, and why this song really does it for me. So we're going to start, we're in the key of D. So this is our 1 chord, built off of the tonic. We're going to start with a major 7. So the major 7 chord is basically the major chord, but it just has that 7th scale degree on it. I play it down here a lot. So you're going to start on major 7. It's just sort of a lovely, sort of ethereal sound. And instead of going to the 5 chord, the regular 5 dominant chord, which, is in the key of D, you have all, this is in the key, A, C sharp, that's 7th again, and here is E, the 2nd scale degree in the key of D. He's going to go to an A minor chord, A minor 7. And I've talked about this, I think, in one of my other videos, but basically what a minor 7 always implies to me is a 2-5-1 motion to 4. So let's imagine that this is our 2 chord. Our 5 chord would then become the 1 chord. Our 1 chord would then become a 5 chord, moving to the G chord. So when I say 5 chord, D, a D7 chord is built off of 5 scale degrees away from the G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in music, you'll get a lot of motion from 5 to 1. So that's all that I mean. We have a regular 2, again, in the key of G. Let's say that the 4 is our new tonic. A is the 2 chord, minor. D would be the 5 chord, and G would be the 1. But in this case, we know that G is our 4. So we're using a substitution chord. Instead of this A major chord, we're using an A minor chord to go to this 5 to the 1. Now what I like about this song in particular is D'Angelo goes from the 1 chord to the minor 5 chord, and instead of doing a resolution, a 2-5-1, he goes directly to the 4 chord. So if you listen to Untitled, the verse is going to be, how does it feel? Right to the 4 chord. How does it feel? And going from the 4 chord, instead of playing what you might expect, a minor 4 chord, he plays a flat 7, dominant 7 chord. So what's a flat 7 chord? I've explained this in a couple of videos. It's one of my favorite chords of all time. It is, so in the key of D, you have the 7th scale degree, which is a C sharp. You flat it, and you build a major dominant 7 chord off of that flat 7. So the C dominant 7. So here we are, to 4, and then to, that's C9 in that case, but it's really a C7 chord. I'm just adding the 9 here, and then back to 1. So that's the whole verse and most of the chorus. You're gonna hear those 4 chords, and they're beautiful. Before, all of a sudden, I think he plays a 4 chord at one point, then he drops a half step to this dominant, F sharp dominant 7 chord. And why is this interesting? Because if we're in the key of D, an F sharp dominant chord wouldn't exist. It should be an F sharp minor if we're in the key of D. But he makes it a dominant chord. And remember earlier I was talking about fifths and the cycle from 5 to 1? You're going to see a lot of that here. So he's going to be dropping fifths until he returns back to his the tonic of for the song, which is D, of course. So you're in 4, you drop to a 3 dominant 7 chord. Already got me. Then to a 6 dominant 7 chord. And again, this should be a minor chord in the key of D, but it's not. We're doing a major chord. And then B, if you drop B a 5th, that ends with E. And then if you drop E a 5th, that ends with A. And A is obviously the 5 chord of D. So he starts on the 4, he drops to the dominant 3, which is a 5th away from the dominant 6, which is a 5th away from the dominant 2, which is a 5th away from the dominant chord, which is A. And when I say dominant, there's the tonic, which is the 1, the predominant, which is the 4, and then there's the dominant, which is the 5. So when I say dominant, I just mean a 5th away. That's why if you hear of secondary dominance, that's like E moving the fifth away from A is E. So E, dominant, moving to A, moving to D. I can get into more detail about all this, but I'm not sure how much you guys want to hear about theory. There are also a ton of YouTubers that talk a lot about these theory topics with a lot more brevity than I do. But I just love this song because it taught me how important the fifth motion was. You have fifth away, fifth away, fifth away, fifth away, and then back to the one. So you can just use this. You can use the fifth, the interval, to go so many different places. And then for me, you can't talk about Untitled without talking about the last part of the song. There's this enormous outro, and it's the same chords that we used in the beginning, but with a subtle difference that I think changes everything. You're on the one. How does it feel? To that minor 5 again. And instead of going to the 4, he goes up to the flat 7, dominant 7 chord. So instead of going to the 4, he's going here. How does it feel? To the 4, and then to the 1. Remember when I was talking about fifth motion? Well, here he's using fourth motion to get back to his 1. So if you notice, C is a fourth away from G, which is a fourth away from D. And this is something I use all the time in my playing. You'll hear like, very popular. Easy like Sunday morning. So that motion, using fourths and fifths to get back to 1, is used all the time in music, and this song really helped teach me that. So why is this such a powerful choice? I like it because that subtle change allows me to do walk downs all the way from this C all the way to the D. And I'll show you what I mean. So, how does it feel? How does it feel? So if you see, I'm at the C, and I did a walk down from C to G. So 4, 3, 2, 1 to G, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one of the things that really helped me fall in love with the piano is that motion from 4 to 1, walking down. You hear it all the time. Some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. So learning that motion, again, I get my peaches out in Georgia, oh, that's it. I get my weed from California, that's it. I love you from the north, yeah, that's it. Whatever. So using that fourth motion, here, D'Angelo is able to use it twice because he's a 7th degree away. So that's 1 4th down motion. Oh, and it's just so powerful. I just really love using it. I don't know if any of this made any sense. I hope that some of it did. If you have any questions, please let me know down below so that I can speak more on some of these topics. Yeah, I just want to get on here and talk about one of my favorite songs of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed.